It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. I tell you, I'm no longer waiting. It's time for heat on ice. We hear the time is right. We keep our love forever burning. Heat on the ice.
Welcome to Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italia, high in the Dolomite Mountains for the 4th World Cup Women's Bobsled event of this 2005-06 Olympic season. Land Rover is sponsoring the second heat of competition, and let us introduce ourselves.
Ron Hughes, Dresden, Germany.
John Morgan, Lake Placid, New York, USA.
Hi and welcome to this traditional track here, and here are your favorites.
Heat on the Ice is our theme song, and today we're going to see a real traditional bobsled track. Nicola Minicello from Great Britain. She's been fast in training all week, hasn't had great results so far this season. Could be her day.
Helen Appleton from Canada. Also very fast in training, good results in Innsbruck Eagles.
Great start times.
Susie Erdmann, this could be her track because she doesn't have a big push, but that is not so important in Cortina d'Ampezzo. So she's good for the medals here.
Jean Pra got a gold medal in Lake Placid. She tied for the gold. Vanetta Flowers and Jean in their Bodine sleds have been flying down the track all week.
But who can beat Sandra Kyriazis? Once again, in training, the best. She won all the World Cups, tied with Jean Pram, in Lake Placid. And I think if you want to win, you have to beat her. That's a World Cup standing.
Shauna Robach from the United States wasn't featured, wasn't having a great week of training all week, really nursing an injury. Look at the Canadians. Suzanne Gavin Hadley, she has really been coming up the board. We'll see a lot more of her as the season progresses. She's got great start times. All the way down the top 20 World Cup standings. There's a lot to do. Who goes to the Olympic dance in Torino? Here's this wonderful traditional track. This is the corners Antolo Cristallo, and built for the 1956 Winter Olympic Games. And Ron, this is a great bob track.
Yeah, that's a real bob track. It was longer for the Olympics, so they shortened it. So where we have the start now, where we also start with these pictures. In the old times, with a longer track, they came already with 80 kilometers per hour here.
Right here, heat on the ice. Boy, there's a lot of heat on the ice. This is about steering. Look at this first big left. Corner one, long straightaway here. You cannot make any mistakes like on any track, but the ice, look how bumpy and pop marked the ice is. This is like ice in your backyard when you freeze up. There's the first speed trap out of Cento.
The Cento is very important to come straight out of the Cento, the labyrinth, corner combination.
Real bumpy. This is where the drive really got to steer, really pull hard. There's our second speed trap into Belvedere Bandiano, big left. Underneath the bridge, big right. This is where you get 3 G's of force, and you got to exit here with some kind of velocity.
Next big combination here after these straights, Antilao Cristallo.
Two most famous corners on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. What a challenge. They really have to steer. Then a little jump right here, Ron. The sleds get airborne.
We will see them airborne. And here, last 2 corners, last speed trap.
Close to 80 into the finish, 4 G's. This is the way bobsledding was, and a great challenge for the females today.
This is only the second World Cup for the girls here in Cortina d'Ampezzo, and coming up, the race on speed.
Have you guys seen my easy button?
You can use mine.
Use your easy button to find my easy button?
Won't that, like, tear a hole in the universe?
What's the worst that could happen?
That's the worst that could happen.
Just hit it.
Okay.
See, there it is.
Where's Steve?
Want to get organized this year? From filing and storage to security and tax software, Staples has everything you need. Staples, that was easy.
Let's see, we got Vonage a couple of months ago. It was easy to install. I mean, I'm not really technical, like, at all, and I did it myself. Look, so I just used our old phone, and it costs less, too. It's just $24.99 a month, and that includes voicemail, call waiting, caller ID, and a lot more at no extra charge. So we just love it.
We're not out to change the world, just the way you talk to it. Sign up now and get your first month free. Call 1-800-930-4VON. High-speed internet connection required.
If you or a loved one was diagnosed with mesothelioma, call the number on your screen now. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer linked to asbestos exposure. Exposure to asbestos in mills, shipyards, or in the heating, construction, and automotive industries may have put you at risk. Even people close to you could develop mesothelioma due to secondhand exposure. Please don't wait. Call now at 1-800-604-9750. That's 1-800-604-9750.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Bodine, and I take great pride in my Bodine Bobsled project that supplies made-in-USA bobsleds to our USA Olympic bobsled team. I'm going to have a bobsled race in Lake Placid and get a few of my NASCAR buddies involved as a fundraiser for the Bodine Bobsled project. They'll be driving specially designed bobsleds like this one. So come to Lake Placid and see NASCAR drivers driving bobsleds. See you there. I got to get some practice. Let's go.
It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. The hottest part for me was waiting. Heat on the ice.
They've been sliding bobsleds here in Cortina since the 1930s. Today's program brought to you by Chevrolet, official sponsor of the United States Olympic team. American drivers, Gene Racine, and then a break with Gene Prom and Vanetta Flowers. And here's our first heat highlights. Shauna Roebuck wasn't doing good in training all week, not getting the start times. Nothing to do with her break with Valerie Fleming. Shauna's nursing an injury, but she's starting to learn how to drive. She's in third place into the first heat.
And as we said to you, Susie Lisa Erdmann doesn't have a big push, only a 4 at 5:46, but she was steering well, and she is second.
And as expected, Sandra Kiriasis, different brakeman this week than she was last week in Innsbruck. Same downtime result, track record. Broke the track record about 5 times in that first heat.
They modified the track a couple of times here, and it's different to last year. It's smoother, it's easier to drive, and this is the result after the first heat. Kiriasis, Erdmann, Shauna Roebuck, Helen Upperton.
Yeah, but it's real close. The Canadians and Americans separated by 100 from third place to fourth. There's Jean Prom and Jill Bakken really battling for Olympic spots. The field is very solidly enhanced with some North American sleds. There's the temperature, it's really important. The temperatures change constantly. These guys here mandate the rules of the race, including the temperatures of the runners.
Austrian, German, Joey Kilburn from Canada, the right side. This picture, waiting for the first sled. It's Sabina Hafner from Switzerland. Switzerland won. They call her the firecracker because she can explode.
And she's really competitive at the end of last year. Young's 22 years old, and they call her the firecracker. And here's the specs. The women's sleds are about 50 pounds lighter than the men's. Total weight of the crew and the sled. It's a maximum gravity sport, so you want to have as much weight as you can, especially on a track like this. It's got a downtime, real good speeds at the bottom.
You have to find a good compromise because Sabina, she's very heavy, so I think they have to put some weight in the sled, which doesn't help you at the start.
Her profession, I wanted to tell you, they call her the firecracker. Her profession, she's an electrician. And she's been struggling with this new Hildebrand designed sled. Last year, she was constantly in top 5, including the World Championships. There's an example. This is a very sensitive steering sled. Some of the male athletes have given their Hildebrand sleds back to Hans Hildebrand because they're saying they're too sensitive. They can't control them. Good exit there out of Belvedere Bandione, and you would not expect this girl to be back in 17th place here in the first heat. You expect her up in the top 10, top 6 even. Antelo Cristallo, the bob jump, not too bad there. She got a full second lead as she comes down here on the competitors that have already come in the second run. And there's the Ireland team, which was the present leaders, and Sabina Hafner, as you expect, a full second ahead of them. She could move up 4 or 5 places, Ron, because she did not have a very good first heat, and that wasn't a good heat.
No, she made too many mistakes in the upper part, middle part. And it's easy to beat the Irish team because their goal is to get in the top 20 for the second heat. But she has to be in the top 10 at least, but I think she cannot make it with this run.
Not a banging. We'll see more bobsledding on speed.
10 years of classics.
Beautifully done.
10 years of dream cars.
The best of the best.
10 years of Barrett Jackson on speed.
That is history.
The world's greatest collector car event returns, bigger than ever.
One of the most extraordinary auctions I've ever experienced.
6 amazing days and over 30 hours of expanded coverage live. Plus, indulge your passion. Log on to speedtv.com and make your Haggerty fantasy bid.
Drop that hammer!
Barrett Jackson, January 17th through the 22nd on Speed. Brought to you by Chrysler.
Wednesday night, it's the Suzuki Grand Vitara Go For It night on Speed. And this night is all about being authentic and living life as an adventure. It all begins with a double shot of pinks.
Let's race.
Then, unique whips and build or bust. And follow it up with Chop Cut Rebuild and Car Crazy. Plus, check out the all-new Suzuki Grand Vitara, the SUV built for those who go for it. The Suzuki Grand Vitara Go For It night. Wednesday night, beginning at 8, only on Speed.
Would you like to lower your mortgage payments up to 35%?
I could reduce my monthly payments? Tell me how.
Introducing Smart Choice, the home loan exclusively from Quicken Loans. Whether you're buying a new home or refinancing, Smart Choice is the answer. Here's an example. A traditional 30-year loan for $200,000 at 7% interest would be $1,330 a month. But with Smart Choice, that same loan would be an amazingly low $850 a month. That's a difference of over $5,700 a year.
That's good news. So what are we waiting for?
Call toll-free now and see how you can lower your monthly payments up to 35%. The Smart Choice Loan. It's great for refinancing or for purchasing that new home. You get monthly payment flexibility, so you can decide to pay just interest or make payments to principal whenever you want. Call this toll-free number now or go to quickenloans.com to get started and lower your mortgage payments up to 35%. But don't wait. Take advantage today while rates are still low.
Welcome back to Speed Channel's coverage of Women's World Cup bobsledding. Our second competitor is from Switzerland, Maya Barrett. There's Switzerland 1, the leaders at the bottom, and you don't expect these two Swiss sleds to be back here in 15th, 16th, 17th place.
Most famous Swiss female bobsledder is Françoise Bourdet. And this track here forced her to retire. She crushed it very badly. Now she supports the Canadian girls. She is the track coach for Canada. And now there are these young girls fighting for spots for the Olympics.
And they have the same little procedure the Swiss men do, top of the track. Same uniform, same sleds, same coaching, and a big tradition of the sport of bobsledding in Switzerland.
Maya Barmert, Cora Huber. A better start compared to Sabina Hafner.
Who gets in first? Sabina's a little tiny girl.
Pretty similar.
Yeah. Now, the times on the right, -12. Very straight there. That straightaway, if you come through there clean, that helps you a lot. -12 to -19. She's pulling away. Now into the exit of Bandione. That's not the way. She should not have a 19 at the next clock. No, she's dropped some back. Now, check this out. Look at the pressure. Antelo, Cristallo, 70 miles an hour.
The jump.
Ooh, it's close. Back to 600s. This is Switzerland racing against Switzerland. This is about Switzerland #1, and it's today, it's Maya Barrett who comes down as Switzerland #1. She takes over the lead by the slimmest of margins. 0.04 of a second.
The other girl was faster in the second heat, but she was better in heat 1. And you put both heats together, and then you have the total result.
Here's the speed shot on the exit of Bondione. She had a little skid here. Look at that shot, 70 miles an hour. And now here is Antolo Cristallo. Watch the sled climb. Look at the head snap back and forth. 70-mile-plus speeds. Look at the speed in the bottom part of the track. Look at the Irish girl, had the best speed.
Yeah.
She has really improved her driving skills. That proved that there. There's our leaders.
Now a German sled. Claudia Schramm, Stephanie Schurek. Claudia came with start number 24.
Claudia Schramm, Oberhof, Deutschland. Und das ist meine Bremserin. Stephanie Schurek.
So Stephanie Schurek, she's one of the models from the German team. They have some good-looking girls, John.
Very good-looking female athletes, Ron.
And she's the youngest. She's the youngest push girl in this competition. And Sabina Hafner is the youngest pilot. They both will get a special award here in Cortina d'Ampezzo for being the youngest.
The athleticism of the women's program, I've been saying it all year on speed. From 4 years ago to now, the level of athletes that are in this program is really remarkably improved. I'm extremely impressed. And we're talking about women drivers, and I might take some critique about that, but these girls have turned into being some great drivers, especially on this track. +3. As soon as I said that, she made a mistake. Look at the pressure here. This is not easy. Look at how high she got there
high.
on Cristallo. But that might be a high line. That might be a fast line. She went, and that's late. Almost over, but those rough lines are the fast lines. Look at that. It was a fast line on the bottom part of the track. Coach Wolfgang Hoppe looks on. Claudia Schramm has been steadily improving.
That was close to a crash down there. Came out of this curve on 2 runners. We're going to see it again.
Antolo Cristallo. This is
look
how
at the
high
height
she
here.
gets. Look at her climb to the wall. Look how high. Look at that, the slimmest of.
But she didn't touch it.
And look who's got the best speed on the exit. That's why she went from plus to minus. Claudia Schramm, a great drive down the track. Coach Wolfgang Hoppe loves it. Claudia Schramm is off to the winner's box. Coming up after the break, the first of 3 Canadian sleds, Lisa Mae Stringer and Nadine Walker, and their teammates.
Suzanne Gavan-Letty and Heather Mott.
Introducing the all-new 2007 Chevy Tahoe with available features like a power remote lift gate, power release fold and tumble second row seats, and rear view camera system. Chevy Tahoe, an American revolution.
This is it. The Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. Get to your Chevy dealer now for low red tag prices on most Chevy vehicles. Like the 2006 Chevy Cobalt LS with an EPA estimated 34 highway miles per gallon. Now, get an 06 Cobalt LS Coupe for the red tag price of $12,437 after all applicable offers. Hurry, the Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. See your local Chevy dealer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Bodine, and I take great pride in my Bodine Bobsled project that supplies made-in-USA bobsleds to our USA Olympic bobsled team. I'm going to have a bobsled race in Lake Placid and get a few of my NASCAR buddies involved as a fundraiser for the Bodine Bobsled project. They'll be driving specially designed bobsleds like this one. So come to Lake Placid and see NASCAR drivers driving bobsleds. We'll see you there. I got to get some practice. Let's go.
It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. The hottest part for me was waiting. Heat on the ice.
Welcome back to Cortina d'Ampezzo. Eugenio Monti, Pista Olympic de Bob. They named this after him after he passed away a couple years ago. What Pele is to soccer, what Babe Ruth is to baseball, what Richard Petty is to NASCAR, this guy is to the sport of bobsledding from Cortina, and they named this famous track after him a couple years ago. What a legend. Now our first competitors from Canada.
Lisa Mae Stringer, Calgary, Canada. This is my brakeman.
Nadine Walker.
We talked about the Swiss fighting for Olympic spots. There's 3 Canadian sleds here, only 2 will go. Lisa Mae Stringer was Canada 1 last year. She's now Canada 3 position, needs a good result here.
She's a mother of 3 kids. She said she can't wait to go home to see the kids, and 2 of them are in a little Christmas music show, and she wants to see that at the beginning of next week.
Well, the struggling by Schramm getting into the sled there was obvious. Schramm's the leader at the bottom, and Lisa Mae Stringer with a 900ths lead, but a problem in that straightaway. Now love these 2-quarter combinations. Belvedere, Bandione, great exit there. Speed, doesn't have the big speed. +6, she's behind. But she can be perfect here and have a chance to overcome that deficiency. Ooh, +10, skid. Doesn't look like the run she needs to maintain the lead.
No, I think it's not enough. No, the Germans remain in the leader's box. Lisa Stringer, you said it, it's not easy to get on the Olympic team for Canada. So, and even if she doesn't make it, I mean, no one can say she didn't try it. She doesn't have to push, that's the problem.
She's a great driver, good athletic skills. Here she is on the exit of Antelo. Little skid there, you can see she's on the wrong side of that straightaway. Doesn't sound like much, but a couple hundreds here and there, it all adds up. Back to the top of the track for another Canadian team who was very, very impressive in the first heat. They broke the start record.
Suzanne Gavin-Halati, Bell River, Canada. This is my brakeman. Heather Moyes.
Yeah, they put the best push athlete on Suzanne's sled because they want to help her. The Canadians want to help her to qualify for the Olympics, the internal Canadian qualification. So they broke the start record with a 5:32 in the first heat. That was amazing.
Well, I think what they switched brakeman with
Helen once again, John, 5:30.
Wow.
They switched brakeman with Helen Upperton.
Well, the Hupperton's brakeman, they wanted her to qualify with a top 5 or 6 result, and that's why they put Katie Simonson in the other sled. But that tells you how good of an athlete both these girls are. I mean, if you went back, Gavin Hadley was a brakeman a couple years ago. And just a matter of time before she starts figuring out how to drive. Because right now, this is not a smooth trip. Without a start record, if you got a start record, you can own most of these cookie-cutter tracks they compete on, like Winterberg and Calgary and Innsbruck and Lillehammer, Nagano. Here, the start's not that important.
Oh. She is losing time.
All the way down the track. That's okay. Just remember this name. If you're Canadian, by 2010, this girl, she learns how to drive. It's going to be quite a dominator.
So a little bit disappointed after this heat. So he dropped back to 6th place.
Start record in both runs. That's impressive. Coming up after the break, the Americans, Jill Bach and Amanda Morley. They're fighting for their Olympic lives up against Jean Prom and Vanetta Flowers. Americans going head-to-head for Olympic spots.
You've seen the auctions. Now, see it from the inside.
People really have no idea. Let's head to the block.
Barrett Jackson, Life on the Block. Monday night, 9 Eastern, on Speed.
See you tonight.
Okay.
Introducing the all-new Suzuki Grand Vitara. You want more out of life? Suzuki's giving you the green light. Go! Lease the all-new Suzuki Grand Vitara for just $199 a month for 30 months. Hurry in.
He was married 6 times and spent his money on parties and women.
He was a rock star.
He was Henry VIII, the ruthless king who beheaded 2 wives, looted churches, and executed friends, enemies, and the innocent. Witness the real story of a merciless tyrant whose worst enemy was himself. The Madness of Henry VIII. premieres tonight on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore.
Last season, Jack Bauer staged his own death to stay alive.
He's dead.
No. Now, what could possibly bring America's most dangerous counter-terrorist agent out of hiding? You have no idea
Vigilante, drop the weapon!
where the next 24 will take you.
I'm not finished with you. You're gonna wish you felt this good again.
24, the two-night premiere event, begins next week on Fox.
It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. The hardest part for me was waiting. Heat on the ice.
Well, we're in love with those historical pictures out of Cortina. Second time we've seen them, but what a traditional track. Now the Russians.
Виктория таковая, Сочи, Красноярск, Раша. Это моя разгоняющая Надя Орлова. Надежда Орлова.
Russian girls not that good than the men's are.
Not yet.
Not yet. But you have to know about Victoria Tokovaya, that she got a baby last year, and she came back very early to bobsledding. 5:49, decent start for her. Not that fast than the Canadians or the Americans.
Her problem is that she doesn't get great starts, and she doesn't drive consistently. She always puts in one good heat and one bad heat. And this isn't tennis, this isn't a Lent. You gotta have both heats, they both count. But she does have some abilities. Once in a while, she throws down a couple of good heats, creeps up near the podium. She's got at least one podium medal in her career. Again, she had a baby 16 months ago. 100th of a second. Bottom part of the track. This Singer sled can fly if she can keep it straight. And that was a tap. +2. Up over the jump. Skid. Into the finish. Going to be close. Germans trying to move up one more spot. And they do.
Did you see how she ducked down there after the last curve? There are 15 more meters until the finish line is, and she tried to do everything.
75 miles an hour, and she ducks her head underneath the cowling for it to gain a couple hundredths. That, it tells you how far women's bobsledding has come in 4 years.
But it wasn't enough, so the Germans are still in the lead. Russia one wasn't fast enough.
Here it is in Antelo Cristallo. The high line or the medium line? This looks like a good medium line. The speed on the bottom, ooh, she didn't have the speed the Germans did, almost a kilometer down. And little tap here in the exit, and that took away a lot of speed.
Всем привет.
Says greetings home, and now first American sled.
The Olympic gold medalist from the 2002 Winter Olympic Games.
Jill Bakken, Seattle, Washington, USA. This is my brakeman.
Amanda Morley.
There's our leaders at the bottom. And Bakken is fighting for her Olympic life. Only 2 American sleds of the 3 in the field will go to the game. She's driving one of the older Bodines, a red one. The other ones are all black on the men's and women's teams, but these Bodine sleds are pretty resilient. And the Bodine sleds, the best part of the flattery is the German sleds are almost exactly the same nose design as the Bodine sleds. So
I wonder why, John. So, and I think the Americans, you can call the girls team the American hospital. They all have some injuries.
Well, it's a long season. A lot of people can peak early. Shauna Robach coming up, nursing a thigh or a groin injury. Jill Bakken's been coming off a couple years of back injuries before she re-emerged into the sport last year, took a couple years off. She hasn't been consistent. Every once in a while, she throws down a great run. She just hasn't put 2 together. She's 5th in World Cup standings, and it's hard to believe she might be left off the Olympic team. She needs to beat Jean Racine convincingly in the next couple, Jean Prom, in the next couple races. This is a good heat, though. Almost a half-second lead. Rough transition on the bottom into the finish. Should be enough, and it is. So Jill Bakken, this is what she does. If she would have had a consistent heat like this in the first heat, she wouldn't be back here in double digits.
It didn't look very clean, but I think they sled head her a lot because
Bob jumping there. Look at the runners. She let the sled fly, then watch it flop here. Look at the articulation. Look at that. The articulation allows the sled to walk on and off the corners, and that was a rough transition. Finish speeds, Bakken has the best finish speed just about. American coaches look on. Jill Bakken's the leader. Now, another American sled, Jean Prom and Vanetta Flowers, and we had a chance to talk to Jean.
Jean Pram, Waterford, Michigan, USA. And this is my break, Vanetta Flowers.
Jean, looked like you had a very good first run, but didn't have a very good finish time.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of seems like I ran across some rocks the first run. Runners are pretty messed up, and it's kind of disappointing, but you know, we're just going to clean them up as best we can and hopefully have a good second run.
What she means there, they're cement walls here. They're not iced walls, they're cement. If somebody hits it, some of the cement comes off, and she ran over some particles of that cement.
Yeah, when you destroy your runners like this, then you get a special permission from the jury to clean it up again, to work on them.
They take the sandpaper out, and they take the 60 grade, the 100 grade, the 200 grade, and they try to shine them up. And those polished runners is what you want to reduce friction, and that's not the regular Jean Prom drive lines that we've seen in the past. That up top of the track cost her. She's now at +3. Needs to be clean here to have a chance to beat Jill Bakken at the bottom, because Bakken was fast. +3 to +5. High on Antolo.
Lower at Cristallo.
+10, losing more time. Jill Bakken wants this. She's behind her World Cup points, and if she picks up how many places here? Just one. So Amanda Morley and Jill Bakken move up at least one spot, but they have beaten Jean Prom and Vanetta Flowers, which means the last World Cup race of the year in Königssee coming up next after Christmas is going to determine one of these two teams is going to be going to the games. One of them is going to be staying home. Look how high she gets here in Antolo, Ron.
Yeah, you have to get this high there. And not this high here in Cristallo. Looked like a good line for me, but the speed.
Speed same as her teammate. Wrong side there on that exit. That's what caused her to skid. More bobsledding on speed after this.
Tuesday night on Speed. First, Two-Wheel Tuesday. You'll be hanging out with me. Then, Texas Hardtails, followed by Corbin's Ride On.
Well, that's about as much fun as you can have with your clothes on.
Then, V-Twin Motorcycle TV, and later, the Motocross Files. It all begins Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, on Speed.
This weekend on Speed's Lost Drive-In. Friday, when Ken's dream car is stolen.
This car is in Las Vegas.
He'll have to make it on the strip before his car gets stripped.
I think they were getting ready to kill me.
Mark Hamill stars in Corvette Summer. Saturday, John Wayne is a renegade cop out for justice.
I want to know who did it and why.
But the Duke may be on the wrong side of the law.
I'm not going to stand for you making up your own rules.
McHugh, The Lost Drive-In begins Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
I love using this now.
Sending pictures is so much easier.
Now, this really rocks.
What a difference Verizon Online DSL makes. Now, for as low as $14.95 a month, you'll get all that speed, so you can really enjoy your computer, camera, and tons of other stuff.
I click,
And I'm online right away. DSL is so fast.
I can open and send photos with none of the hassles I had with dial-up.
I'm talking, she's surfing.
And shopping.
And shopping. I can get with a program to get music like the rest of the world.
It costs a lot less than most of those cable companies.
I'm paying $14.95 a month for my Verizon DSL.
That's less than what my slow dial-up cost.
Call 1-888-527-5275 to get Verizon Online DSL for as low as $14.95 a month. It's our lowest price ever. That's 1-888-527-5275 for the best value in broadband.
I can't believe I had dial-up for so long on this baby. Bye-bye, dial-up.
Welcome back to Cortina. 50 years ago this winter, this little mountain community hosted the 1956 Winter Olympic Games. They've got a museum opened up downtown with all the memorabilia from the
look
event.
how different the equipment looks. The skiing,
Look
the
at
track
this.
is similar.
The track, this is the signature part of the track, Antolo Cristallo. They brought this out of a back room. Really impressive display. Had a chance to enjoy it myself, and being from Lake Placid, very, very impressive. Next up, Italians.
So, Italia. Questa è la mia frenatrice, Fabiana Mollica.
Jessica Gilarduzzi, she is from Cortina d'Ampezzo, so she must know this track. And she's 7th, so not bad for an Italian girl. And there's one more to come, Gerda Weisensteiner, being 5th.
You don't find Gilarduzzi up here in the top 7 too often. Not a bad starter. Just is an oversteerer. She's constantly left to right in the straightaways, bumping the walls, and here are the cement walls. Look at the cement walls. There's the standings. Bakken's in 1st, Jean Prom in 2nd, and there's the first of the bumps. That's normal, 1700s lead. Not bad there, a little bit of skid in the first of the 3 labyrinths. What's this here? The Belvedere, Bandione, bump in the crossover. Look at the rudder tips. That was pretty good. Minus 17 at the last clock, plus 9. She's lost all sort of time. At least a quarter of a second, says the Labyrinths. Needs to be perfect. Any skid here, she's going to have no chance. Lots of skidding there. So do the math. She's lost probably a half second from the top part of the track. Not a good run for the local girl from Cortina.
Drops to 4th place.
10th less time of the run.
That's something good what happens to Jean Pram, actually, because if there are some girls coming separating the both American sleds, it could be good for Jill Bakken, making more points.
It's 10 points a spot. And Jill Bakken's about 70 points behind Jean Pram. Here is the Bob jumping. Look at the airborne, the runners. You see, look at all the ice come off the wall there.
Yeah, it's just a little ice
there. That's somebody coming down after that's going to hit those little specks. 3 kilometers slower than the German right there. And she's, it wasn't a good run. You could tell by that body language.
Now the Brits.
Nicola Minicello, Sheffield, Great Britain. And this is my brakewoman, Jackie Davis.
Well, these 2 Brits were flying all week long in practice. There's our leaders. Jill Bakken on the left, Amanda Morley on the right. Here are some very good athletes who were 2nd at the World Championships last year, but have a brand new Hildebrand sled, and they haven't figured out how to drive that yet.
And they use it. They still use it. Remember, Martin Annen crashed with the new Hildy and swapped back to his old sled, the same as Pierre Luders, but they say, no, it's a good sled, we use it. And they are on 5th place after the first heat. The start, 5:38, a little slower than in heat number 1.
Here's the different technique. Who gets in first? Jill Bakken on the left, Amanda Morley? No, the British are in quicker. Sometimes it's better to get in quicker, get the momentum in the sled. Other times you want to run it out. Just different philosophy. And there's one thing about driving. You don't want to be sideways top of the track like we just saw her there. Minus 19. A lot of time in Innsbruck.
Wait for the next clock.
Not a bad exit. Counter corner there. Yeah, minus 19 to minus 1. You can do the math, Ron. Next clock, she's going to be in the pluses. She's lost a lot of time. Oh, sideways. Plus 13. Now the question is, how many sleds is she going to drop? How many places? Oh, what a rough transition on the exit. And there is the 7th best time of the heat, and she falls behind both American sleds, Jill Bakken and Jean Pram. But Jill Bakken wants somebody to come down and get between her and Jean Pram, because that's points in World Cup standings that determines the Olympic selection process.
And maybe these girls, Jessica Gilarduzzi, the Italian one, and Nicola Minicelli, help to survive Jean Pram on the Olympic team.
Look at the airborne. Not a real clean. Look at the coaches. Tom Delahunty on the right, and the Americans celebrate and move up to 3rd place.
No! Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bad day at the office, sort of. Now, our 2nd Italian sled we've seen, and this one's got some experience.
Gerda Weisensteiner, Steineck, Italia, e questa è la mia frenatrice. Jennifer Isacco.
The Olympic champion in luge, Gerda Weisensteiner, 94 Olympics in Lillehammer, came to bobsledding 3-4 years ago.
She won a World Cup gold medal in November of 2002 in Calgary, followed it up with a bronze there in Calgary, and since then I don't think she's been on the podium.
But when you see her running, you see that she doesn't have a past in athletics, in track and field. So that could be much better. But hey, luge, what is that? Lying on the sled?
Paddling with your hands. It's a little different than running a sprint for 60 meters. But this girl can drive. She's won an Olympic gold medal in luge. And a lot of the eyes and hands that you have in luge are the same here in bobsledding. There's an instinct. Taking 70-mile-an-hour speed and slowing it down to 25 or 30 miles an hour. Watch the lines here on the exit. Look at her rudder tips. That's as good as we've seen. That is the best line we've seen in this heat. 1400s at that clock. Americans at the bottom can only hope, and the Italians hold on. Jill Bakken and Amanda Marley's day is done.
But Jill Bakken is still fastest in heat number 2.
Fastest time of the heat. And she, this Italian here, Weissensteiner, has one of her better results of the season. And look at the lines here. This is Antelo Cristallo. We talked about her abilities as a driver. Look at the exit here. If you want to know how to do it, this is it. And the coaches know it. Antonio Tartaglia on the right, and the Italian supporters at the bottom celebrate with Weissensteiner. She could do no worse than 5th coming up after the break. Shauna Roebuck of the United States. She goes for a medal, and one of her biggest challengers is Helen Upperton of Canada. They're separated by 100th of a second.
You own your own business, and today, you're expecting a package. The thing is, you're going to be at every address in town, except your own.
Don't you worry about a thing.
All you need is a mailbox at the UPS store. We'll sign for your packages, receive your mail, and keep it secure until you can pick it up. And your business gets a real street address. So when it comes to your mail, let the UPS store worry about it. That's our thing.
Don't you worry about a thing.
The UPS store, the place for mailbox services and a whole lot more.
You've seen the auctions. Now, see it from the inside.
People really have no idea.
Go behind the scenes of the world's greatest classic car auction. Barrett Jackson.
Let's head to the block.
Don't bid against him.
The chaos.
Hail? I'm trying to get my other car in before it gets here.
The bidding wars. And the timeless dream cars they're all fighting for.
I'm buying your car.
Barrett Jackson, Life on the Block. Monday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, on Speed.
This is it. The Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. Get to your Chevy dealer now for low red tag prices on most Chevy vehicles. Like the 2006 Chevy Cobalt LS with an EPA estimated 34 highway miles per gallon. Now, get an 06 Cobalt LS Coupe for the red tag price of $12,437 after all applicable offers. Hurry, the Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. See your local Chevy dealer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jeff Bodine, and I take great pride in my Bodine Bobsled project that supplies made-in-USA bobsleds to our USA Olympic bobsled team. I'm going to have a bobsled race in Lake Placid and get a few of my NASCAR buddies involved as a fundraiser for the Bodine Bobsled project. They'll be driving specially designed bobsleds like this one. So come to Lake Placid and see NASCAR drivers driving bobsleds. See you there. I got to get some practice. Let's go.
It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. The hottest part for me was waiting. Heat on the ice.
Welcome back to Cortina. 4 sleds to go. First up is a very impressive Canadian team.
Helen Upperton, Calgary, Canada. This is my brakeman, Kaylee Simonson.
We talked to Helen after the first heat. Different track than pulling the ropes in Innsbruck, huh?
It's a big difference, but the first run went pretty good. I made a couple mistakes, and I've driven a bit better in training, so I think that Kaylee did an awesome start that first run, so another good push and a couple corrections, and I think we'll be in good shape. I'm excited for the second run, so we'll see what happens.
She's absolutely sure because they started with a 5:34, second best start time in heat number 1.
To their teammates.
So Bose Canadian sled's fastest at the push.
And the Canadians, Simonson here is trying to qualify according to Canada Olympic standards, so they took her off Canada 2, put her in Canada 1. She finishes in the top 5 or 6. She gets a Canadian Olympic selection. So there's races within races all over this track today. And Upperton has really been coming on. Silver medal last week in Innsbruck. The Canadian women's program has made more strides than any other women's program this season. And they've got great athletes in the front seat pushing the sleds. They have great start times. It's just a matter of time before they figure out how to drive these sleds. And Upperton's got at least 2 medals and 4 World Cup points this year.
1300s on the right side of the clock. Is that enough to take the lead from the Italians? Yes, it is. Not the fastest. Not the fastest in heat number 2. It is still the American girl. Still Jill Becken. But that was enough to take the overall read.
And Katie Simonson just qualified for the Olympic team. A little strategy in the Canadian camp. Worked out well. Got all their brakemen qualified, their drivers qualified. Now up to the top of the track for the 3rd and final United States sled.
Shauna Robach, Orem, Utah, USA. This is my brakeman.
Valerie Fleming.
We talked to Shauna.
Yeah, tough track to drive. How do you compare driving Innsbruck last week to Cortina this week?
Oh, it's apples and oranges. I mean, this track, you just crank your ropes, and Eagles, you barely even have to squeeze them. So it's completely opposite. This track is very tough. And Eagles, I feel like, isn't the toughest track.
Well, she's pretty accurate about the description of how you drive from Eagles to here. But she's been nursing a groin injury. 10th best start time of the first heat. She's usually the number 1. All last year, she broke the track record in every track she was on at the start. But she's learning how to drive. And she's going to have a perfect run here to win a medal. This is a medal run. The Canadians are in the lead at the bottom. Canadians had a better start on the left. Helen Upperton and Simonson. And here is the Americans. Who gets in first? Canadians are in much quicker. And now it's up to Shauna Robach, who's down by 0.22 of a second. Now she can't make any mistakes.
That was due to the push, so she's done it on the ropes in heat number 1. Maybe she can do it again, but then...
Oh, that's a good exit, 2200s to 1800s. This clock will tell down to 10. She's been driving a perfect line in the Bodine sled. The next exit is going to be crucial. Clean. Now the jump. Perfect. This is a wonderful drive down the track by Shauna Robach. Last year, she couldn't do this. And she takes the lead. Wow. That was as good a heat driving as I've ever seen Shauna Robach do.
And I think that gives her confidence. As you said, you know, she was so good at the start last year and she couldn't drive that well, but now she's got this problem with the injury, but she drove well.
The Bodine sled, she pointed it in the right direction and it flew on the bottom part of the track. She's our leader, and I'm impressed, and so are the American coaches. That's the best heat of pressure driving I've ever seen Shauna Robach have. More bobsledding after this.
Wednesday night, it's the Suzuki Grand Vitara Go For It night on Speed. And this night is all about living life as an adventure. Plus, check out the all-new Suzuki Grand Vitara, the SUV built for those who go for it. The Suzuki Grand Vitara Go For It night, Wednesday night, only on Speed.
Fox Reality is the place to party, and the stars are out full force to celebrate the launch of Reality Remix.
It's a reality party.
Join host Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
For the show that puts you in the mix. Covering the world of reality with recaps, previews, features.
Outstanding.
One show, twice nightly, endless buzz.
Enjoy the alcohol, filming everything.
Reality Remix, a Fox Reality original.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call the number on your screen for a free DVD or video and check it out. Bowflex's Power Rod technology delivers results. Powerful arms, defined legs, a stronger chest, and a toned, sexy core. And owning a Bowflex home gym is so affordable. Great results are easy with a new Extreme. All it takes is one simple workout, 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, to get in the best shape of your life. The Extreme is built so well that we back it with an unrivaled 7-year warranty. And so effective, it comes with Bowflex's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Own the Extreme with no money down and payments of just $19 a month. And when you call right now, we'll give you the leg attachment upgrade free. Call for a free DVD or order your Bowflex Extreme for only $19 a month. And for a limited time, get the leg attachment free.
It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. The hottest part for me was waiting. Heat on the ice.
Just 2 sleds to go here in Cortina.
Susi Edman, München, Germany. Und das ist meine Bremse. Anne Dietrich.
Susie Atman. She also comes from luge, won the Olympic medals in luge, the first one in 1992, the second one in 1994. And if a track helps her a bit, like this one, which drops after the first couple of meters, then she's good for medals, even good for the gold. Susie Erdmann, former playmate, loading the sled with a 5:46, same start time than heat number 1.
Well, watch these lines, because if she has a good trip, this is the way you want to learn how to drive a sled. She's got those great ice maneuvers available from luge, much like Gerda Weissensteiner, who won the gold medal. That same race, Susie was, I think, third, 92 Olympics. Watch this exit here. This will tell you now. Look at that. That was a quiet exit up on Dion. You can see the times here. She is doing it. She has not been on the podium all year. And perfect out of the jump. This looks like at least a silver medal for Susie Erdmann, and it is. So, not on the podium all year. She finally found a track that favors someone who can drive. She just threw down her second consistent run. Ron, you could really see her skills are in her eyes and hands.
She had a big advantage after the first seat, and now she's done it back on the podium.
Well, here's the jump. Shauna Roebuck had that line. So did Susie Erdmann, but Susie had a lot more time from the first heat. That's the way to do it. Now, the Dominator, the second German sled we're going to see here. And this girl here just never ceases to amaze me.
Sandra Kyriazis, Winterberg, Germany. Und das ist meine Bremserin. Anja Schneider-Heinze.
So Anja, her best pushman is back. Anja Schneider-Heinze. She was replaced last weekend.
Last season, the first event they ever had here for women's bobsled. Guess who won, Ron?
Sandra Kyriazis, Berit Viaka, the girl she selected for the last race in Innsbruck Eagles. She won with her here. And now Anja Schneider-Heinze is back with Sandra Kyriazis, who will celebrate her first anniversary in a couple of days. She married her husband 1 year ago, former Sandra Prokop. Sometimes say Sandra Prokop. The same happens to you with Gene Racine, correct?
Tough when they go and get married on us.
I should do this, hey. But now she is flying down with her FES sled built in Berlin with taxpayers' money, and I see that my money is very well invested.
But this sled looks a lot like
the Bodine one.
The Bodine sleds came out with this design a year ago, and the next thing you know, the Germans showed up this year. There's a lot of similarities. And there's one thing about these sleds and the Bodine sleds, they are fast. Look at the way this girl comes straight down the middle of the track. Hardly touches. You wonder why she's won 28 out of 34 races since the 2002 games, and she's done it again.
Sandra Kyriazis, Anja Schneider-Heinze wins the next cup here.
You never think she gets tired of winning, and when you see her accept her awards, you know she does not. Look at the line she has here. Look at the runner tips. There's no steering and friction there.
Very high in Cristallo.
Really high in Cristallo. Wolfgang Happy, the legendary German pilot, looks on. And
Andre Lange. So, hoops, I did it again. Sandra Kyriazis, 4 races, 4 victories. Exactly, that was the 4.
So she just knows how to win. And she is going to be the female that everybody will chase as we go to the 2006 Winter Olympic Games in Torino. Here, a celebratory hug with her brakeman. Here's our final results.
Sandra, Susie, 2 Germans ahead of Shauna Roebuck, Helen Apperson.
Good result for Jill Bakken, ahead of Jean Prom. Real tight race amongst those Americans.
This weekend on Speed's Lost Drive-In. Friday, when Ken's dream car is stolen.
This car is in Las Vegas.
He'll have to make it on the strip before his car gets stripped.
I think they were getting ready to kill me.
Mark Hamill stars in Corvette Summer. Saturday, John Wayne is a renegade cop out for justice.
I want to know who did it and why.
But the Duke may be on the wrong side of the law.
I'm not going to stand for you making up your own rules.
McHugh, The Lost Drive-In begins Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
There is only one show that can generate this type of excitement.
We are going to see you in Hollywood.
Only one show that brings families together and gives us all a reason to cheer.
You blew it out tonight. That was incredible.
And only one show where your votes can take an unknown to the heights of stardom. The one event you've been waiting for is back.
This is going to be the best Idol you have ever seen.
American Idol premieres this month on Fox.
Who's up next? Give me that pink slip!
You have lost your vehicle.
One last final race.
This is the first time this has ever happened on pigs. I didn't say that. I said stop the race. Let's race.
Let's do it.
You agreed to it. Line the car up.
Pigs, lose the race, lose your ride. Season 2 premieres this February, only on Speed.
My first car, MGB, 1973.
This is it. The Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. Get to your Chevy dealer now for low red tag prices on most Chevy vehicles. Like the 2006 Chevy Cobalt LS with an EPA estimated 34 highway miles per gallon. Now, get an 06 Cobalt LS Coupe for the red tag price of $12,437 after all applicable offers. Hurry, the Chevy Red Tag event ends January 3rd. See your local Chevy dealer.
It's time for heat on ice. This is the time to fight. The hardest part for me was waiting. Heat on the ice.
Another race gone by the books. Today's program brought to you by Chevrolet, the official sponsor of the United States Olympic team.
And John does the interviews.
Shauna Roebuck, you used to win medals with the start time. Today, you had a very good drive down the track.
Yeah, this week was very tough. I have a bit of an injury, and I still had good start times. Brakeman came through and just tried to hold it together, and I'm happy with the result.
Congratulations. Now, Susie Erdmann, first medal of the season. Cortina, a good track for you?
Ich liebe Cortina und ich bin sehr froh, dass ich hier eine Medaille machen konnte, kurz vor Weihnachten. Das ist ein schönes, wie sagt man, Christmas gift or present.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she really likes Cortina and she's really glad to end up on the podium here right before Christmas, and is the right direction for Torino.
Sandra, Innsbruck, Cortina, all the tracks. Is this a good track for you?
Ja, das ist eine super Bahn. Wir hatten hier eine super schöne Woche. Die Bahnarbeiter haben wahnsinnig toll gearbeitet. Jetzt kommt leider ein bisschen Schnee, aber Raimund, der war für dich
She likes the track here as well, and she gives all the compliments to the track crew here. They did a great job, so and she really likes it, and she sends some regards, some greetings to Raymond.
Congratulations.
So this victory was for the German coach, Raymond Bethke.
Here's our World Cup results. You can see it's very close amongst the Americans, 3 sleds. Great racing by the women here in Cortina, Ron. Very impressed with the abilities that they have to drive the sleds. And now we're seeing a lot of great athleticism in the sleds from the female athletes. So for my FIPT television crew and my broadcast partner, Ron Ringeth, I'm John Morgan. See you the next time on Speed.
Goodbye. Wiedersehen.